Here to interview Jane Ormsey. So she's the managing director at Scroll Media. So we're going to jump straight into the questions. It's only 15 minutes, but we're hoping to have some time at the end for some of the audience questions. So if you do have some, head over to Slido and use the code at the bottom there. Type in your questions. We'll get them up on the screen, and we'll try to cover any that we have at the end. But yeah, welcome, Jane. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
So I'm going to jump straight into it. And to start with, can you provide us an overview of Scroll Media and how it helps advertisers in finding high-intent audiences online?
Yeah, sure. So Scroll Media is a premium digital ad network. So we represent about 20 premium publishers across Australia and New Zealand. Our publishers range from, we're quite strong in gaming. So we've got a large gaming portfolio with Gameloft and Game and Ion. So that's our biggest vertical, if you like, is gaming. We've seen a really big increase in audiences to gaming. And then we've got Healthline.com, which is the world's biggest health and wellness and nutrition site, and AccuWeather, Supercars, we've got PGA Tour and Golf Digest. And so what we do is we provide advertisers with ways to advertise across those publishers, from high impact ads to integration, sponsorship and video and display.
Wow,
yeah.
So a lot of big name publishers there. Actually, you mentioned gaming as the first one, but there's a lot of verticals you're working. So it's gaming, it's travel, it's sports, it's health, it's tech, it's automotive. So how does Scroll Media identify and create high intent audiences across all of those key verticals?
Well, I think there's been a real tendency to focus on the open exchange. So what Scroll Media does is we, because we've got premium exclusive relationships with these publishers, we can provide advertisers a way to really, stand out from the crowd. So you can do integration, and when you've got an audience that's reading about a particular topic, so for Healthline it could be they're reading about sleep, for example, that user is more engaged with the content because they're reading about it. So we let advertisers have 100% share of voice or sponsorship, so they can basically own that content, and then they also can get that content when their competitors can't, and they can have like 100% share of voice on the page and sponsor that content. So you're getting an audience that is high intent, so they're very likely to remember your brand when they go to the supermarket or see it in store.
Lovely.
Yeah.
So Scroll Media has built technology to programmatically optimize publishers' revenue. Let's talk a bit more about that. So
yes.
Can you tell us about the technology and kind of how you've helped the publishers kind of increase their revenue through that?
Yeah, so over the years we've built our own bespoke technology. So it's basically some code that the publisher can put onto their site, and that helps them. It means the publisher can focus on being a publisher and just leave the ad revenue to us. So we then so our programmatic team basically monetizes all the different SSPs to make sure they get the most yield for the publisher, and we do all of that and on their behalf in the background, and we've got a team who do that using our technology. So and that's obviously really helpful because we look after independent publishers who may not be able to do that themselves because they're not big enough or they don't have the team or the technology or the resources. So we basically do that for them. And then we also do direct sales as well. So that's where we are kind of unique in Australia, because we take care of that programmatic on their behalf and optimising all of that for them, but then we also do direct sales as well. So that's sort of, we're helping the publisher across both areas, and they're quite happy, generally.
So you're the only ones in Australia doing both sides of that then?
Yeah, both sides.
The key
We somehow have managed to do both, with our technology and our team and our expertise. So, yeah.
So let's talk about kind of the display ads then. So how does the use of high impact display ads enhance the effectiveness and reach of high intent audiences compared to standard ad formats?
Well, I just think it's the engagement rates you get from doing like a homepage takeover or an interstitial, like those ads where a user is highly engaged, like if it's got 100% attention on the page, is better than, say, an ad that occurs right at the bottom of the page and isn't targeted. So that's where homepage takeovers or interstitials or pre-roll works really well across the network, because you can get certainty that you're going to be on that page instead of sort of not knowing where your ad's going to be. So we provide that certainty to the advertiser.
Yeah. Well, so talking about those ads that kind of get high engagement, gamification, that's kind of a huge buzzword at the moment. So the whole concept of gamification ads is kind of really interesting.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more kind of about how they work, what the advantages are, and maybe give us a quick kind of sneak peek into like one that you've seen that's particularly impressive?
Yeah, so gaming is exploding with across the world. So gaming is now $184 billion industries globally, and we're seeing in Australia 66% of the audience of Australians are gamers now. So it's not your spotty, pimply teenager in their mother's basement playing Atari. There's still a misconception about gaming, I think, that that's what gamers are, but they're actually, the average age of a gamer is 35 years old. So these people have jobs, they work, they've got good consumer patterns of buying, and we represent Gameloft exclusively in Australia, which is a developer of games. They've got about 200 games that they provide, and they're all mobile, because mobile is kind of leading the charge for gaming. It's where it's most accessible. So Gameloft, the ads we've run and across Gameloft and campaigns have been really successful because they just drive a lot of higher click-through rate than the standard ads, but also higher sort of intent afterwards. So like our campaign reports are showing that people actually like seeing ads within games, and have show more intent afterwards to respond to those ads because they view them quite favourably, which is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's change the focus then back to kind of those verticals that you talked about at the start. So
Yes.
we mentioned 5 or 6 of kind of the key big verticals.
Yeah.
Which specific verticals then have shown the most success in partnering with Scroll Media
Yep.
to measure kind of this success and overall effectiveness of an ad?
Well, definitely gaming is where we're seeing our growth for Scroll. So that's probably a big growth area for us. Like, I think people are now really wanting, like brands are really wanting to embrace gaming more than before. So that's huge. The other one is health. So health and wellness. People are very focused on having been, well for their families. And so Healthline is basically the go-to. It's the biggest health and wellness site in the world. And consumers are just consuming more content so that they stay well. So they go into Healthline for that trusted source of information about how to, what to eat, how to exercise well, what vitamins to take, how to, live a healthy life so they don't get sick. So Healthline's got 7 million unique users in Australia are going to Healthline for advice about all sorts of things to do with their health, nutrition and wellness and diet management. So we're seeing the health vertical is really big for us, which is nice. And then travel, since COVID, so travel's really picked up, of course, since we're out of the lockdowns, thank goodness. So we represent Adara Travel Data, which is a travel, it's a data platform that you can target people who are looking for travel. So if they're looking to take, an airline holiday or book a hotel, Adara is a way you can target users who are about in that mindset to travel. So we're having really good success with the likes of car rental companies, airlines and, hotel booking engines. So Adara is working really well. So probably our key verticals are travel, health and gaming, and then technology is the other one. Yeah. So we represent CNET and ZDNet, which are 2 quite large tech publishers. So there's a lot of tech brands that we're seeing, if you want to be at the forefront of technology, that's consumers are reading those publications. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so here at Advertising Week, and you've probably seen it throughout yesterday and today, we love success stories, we love case studies. Do you want to give us kind of a quick success story then?
Yeah, well, on the health front, we had a brand called Melatonin, which is a sleep supplement, and they sponsored all the sleep section because people are obsessed with sleep, right? We all want a better night's sleep, don't we? So we gave Melatonin 100% share of voice across all the sleep content, and we had their brand and their logos across the site, and they received a really a big uplift in their just their brand awareness. And then the gaming category for us has had some really good results with Pizza Hut and doing gamified ads and gamification, and just that reward video with Pizza Hut and has been really positive. So yeah, lots of case studies. I actually think we've got too many, but if you want to email our team about, we've got so many case studies of successful campaigns, not only in Australia but also overseas, where brands have used Gameloft and Healthline globally. So yeah, we can share case studies with anyone that wants to.
Perfect. So reach out afterwards for a bit more detail.
Definitely, yeah, we've got lots of case studies.
Great. So I think we've used that term high intent audience a couple of times during this interview. So how does Scroll Media then ensure that its ad placements are kind of relevant and non-intrusive to this high intent audience?
Yeah, I think it's just for the creative does need to kind of match the publisher a little bit. Like you've got to think when you're planning campaigns to make sure that it's going to be a brand that the audience would resonate with. So that's kind of the first thing. But what we try and do is advise our clients on what, creative is going to work and what's going to get the best engagement rate. Yeah. And we just have a really good sales team that helps, the agencies decide what media to run. Like we sort of see gaming as its own channel now, and that really helps get better engagement rates because we kind of know what works. Yeah.
Well, I guess that kind of leads to my next question as well then. So what sets you apart? What sets you apart from other kind of digital ad networks?
Well, I guess we've got exclusive rights to sell across these premium publishers that other companies don't have, I suppose. And it's just like, actually we got measured by Ipsos, and we've got 8 million and 13,000 unique users across our network. So we've got high reach. So that's, if you want reach, come to us. But also we've got premium inventory that you can't actually get elsewhere. Mm-hmm. Like you can't reach Healthline unless you come to us if you want sponsored content and things like that. So that kind of sets us apart as our publisher partnerships, and we understand the audiences, and you can do a deep dive into different verticals. And so that's why, yes, you can buy ads on the Open Exchange, but by coming to Scroll, we've got, you can access sponsored content and sponsorships and things like that. So yeah, that kind of sets us apart. And then of course on the programmatic publisher side, we can increase ad revenue for publishers. So that's kind of, I think the fact we can do both is really helpful for the publisher, because then he can just carry on being a publisher and we can do all the advertising side of it. Yeah.
So for an advertiser then, how does one go about starting to partner with Scroll Media?
Just if you're an advertiser, definitely just reach out to our team. We've got a team in Australia and a team in New Zealand, and just talk to the guys on just talk to us about any briefs you've got coming up. That would be the best thing to do, and we can share, learnings that we've had from other campaigns. Don't hesitate to reach out, basically through even good old LinkedIn. We're always here,
So I want to... We've only got a couple of minutes left, so I just want to talk about one or two of your verticals quickly.
Okay.
Just for the audience, if you do want to ask a question, now's your time. Put it into... there's a couple coming up now, actually.
Yeah.
Let's go for these first, and then if we've got time, we'll go into health a bit more. So what would be your key advice for an advertiser looking to run a gaming campaign for the first time?
Yeah, definitely give it a go, because gaming is a really important audience now. So give it a go. We can take your creative and we can gamify it, so that's always an option. But start off small and test and learn. But just don't think of gaming as a young audience. It's not anymore. Like the average age is 35 years old. So, it's good to, I think also like you can, with both Ion, which is our gaming platform, which is basically has thousands of games, from AAA games to ads that run immersively within the game. So we can do all sorts of different campaigns across for gaming. So it's best just to like test and learn and just start seeing what works and what doesn't. Yeah.
Another question's just appeared, and it's on gaming as well, so let's jump straight into it. Have you seen examples of traditional publishers successfully developing a gaming platform and audience and monetizing effectively?
Yeah, I mean, our Gameloft has been around for 22 years, so they are very good. They're the pioneers of gaming, so they have actually been able to build games, and they can help brands build their own games as well. And we can help brands, gamify their own content, which really resonates with audiences. So, there's a lot that can be done, but we probably haven't got time to go into it all with 33 seconds to go.
I can see the clock ticking down, and there's one final question I want to ask you. So you probably have seen this as a theme across all of Advertising Week, if you've ever been to this one or any other ones, but we like to be future-looking and what the future looks like. So just with the final 20 seconds, what does the future look like for Scroll Media?
Well, it's pretty bright. It's like the future, I think, it's just the audiences for digital are just growing massively as people are, becoming more involved in digital. So it's the future's really, like we're looking for new publishers all the time to help them. And I think it's just good that we've seen so many agencies and advertisers and publishers here at AdWeek. Like it's been a fantastic event, and I think we'll be back for more. So the future's bright for us. Yeah.
Oh, it was lovely having you here, Jane, for this conversation. And thank you all for being here. If we can give a quick round of applause.